Like, the reveal would fuck with me. Like, if I found out Ray was the dude in the Ghostface mask, it would get to me. Like, oh shit. But like,
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Miss me. Let me tell you how it's about to go. Let me show you the towel you're about to throw. This is hip-hop, try to run in our house, or knock your ass straight out the door. I'm the enemy's epitome, the fantasy, my tendency to mentally give your career the death penalty. I instantly advise you to match my intensity. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Lostlegendstv. We are Ready MC, and I'm Ray.
I'm James.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, the matchup, one of the biggest matchups we're gonna have
For us
personally.
We've got the classic
Nightmare on Elm Street.
And then one of my personal favorites, Scream. Both by Wes Craven.
Wes Craven versus Wes Craven.
Which is pretty dope. I like that.
It's classic 80s versus kind of modern 90s. Man.
Exactly. So let's get into it. Go ahead and break them down for Nightmare on Elm Street.
So Nightmare on Elm Street, this is about this. Was it ever clarified if he was a pedophile or not?
They really put that into the remake. I want to say yes.
Just for now, he's a child killer, okay, in the town of Springwood. The story goes on. The parents kill him, burn him alive. He comes back as a dream demon. He kills the parents' kids as revenge in their sleep. The first one follows Nancy Thompson. Nancy defeats Freddy in the first one. The second one picks up relatively close to the first one. It's about this guy who moves into Nancy's old house, finds her journal. Freddy comes back, kind of possesses him. He gets defeated by love. Honestly, he does.
I know.
Third one is the Dream Master. This is a lot of people's favorites. You have the group of teenagers in the psych ward, and one of the people helping them is Nancy from the original. So Freddy comes in, starts killing off these teenagers, and they work together with Nancy to try to come up with a strategy to defeat Freddy. And you even have John Saxon, who plays Nancy's father, come back. That's always nice. Freddy gets defeated. So Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is the Dream Master. Basically, it's you return with the Dream Masters, Dream Warriors, I should say. Only bad thing is they get killed off early in the movie, which kind of sucks. But it follows the girl. Freddy gets defeated again. The fifth one is where things start to go downhill, personally for me. This is the Dream Child. It's where basically Freddy, he makes this girl's child basically his protege, carry on the tradition of Freddy. But at the very end, the child turns on him, kills Freddy. The next one is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's Freddy's Dead.
Oh, hell no!
You can't even, I'm not even sure if the motherfucker's canon. Because nothing to explain. These foster home kids, and in Springwood now, there's no population, there's no kids, it's only adults. Freddy comes back, he's comedic as fuck. This has to do with Freddy's daughter and this whole fucked up storyline. Freddy's again defeated. Now, one of my personal favorites is Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah.
This is the reinvention of Freddy, and it takes place with Nancy, who plays her actual self, Heather Langenkamp. The original cast come back. Robert Englund plays as himself. This is about a demonic entity possessing Freddy and coming into the real world and fucking with Nancy's child, Dylan. And Wes Craven's in here. Fucking Freddy gets a new look. This Freddy's fucking dark. He's like, this Freddy doesn't fuck around. He's a little bit beefier. I mean, he's fucking phenomenal. Freddy's defeated again. And then after that, you got the crossover. Freddy versus Jason.
You would try to explain it.
It's just Freddy,
you know what Freddy versus Jason is. Alright, then we get to Scream, which takes place in the town of Woodsboro. It follows the main girl, Sydney Prescott. And the way the story goes was, a year before the events of the first Scream, her mother was murdered, supposedly by a man named Cotton Weary. Cotton raped her mother, killed her mother, and that he deserved to be in jail for it. And then there's this guy in a mask who is just calling everybody. He takes out Drew Barrymore's character, who you were supposed to believe through the trailer was the main girl, but she's not. And Sydney believes it's her boyfriend, but in the end, it ended up being him and his friend Stu, the great Matthew Lillard. Leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
Then it goes to the second one. She's in college. She got a boyfriend now. She's trying to live her life. And then the calls start coming again. And the only people who survived the first one were her, Randy, Dewey, one of the cops, and Gail Weathers. She's trying to figure out, he's going back and forth, who it might be. Turns out it ends up being her ex's mother had a partner, which was one of the film students that was in Randy's film class. We get to 3, which takes place in Hollywood, basically. And it's they're making a film about the events of Sydney's life. Sydney does not want to be there, but she gets dragged into it because someone starts calling her and basically bringing her into it. All the people who portrayed the original characters, they end up getting killed off. It turns out the director of the film was the killer, but his reasoning was he was Sydney's brother. Then you get to 4 that takes place years and years after. The more modernized version of Scream, and this is Sydney's wrote books now, and Gail and Dewey had got married. They separated. They're still talking to each other and everything. These people just keep trying to make their names off of Sydney Prescott because she's the main girl of the series. It turns out to be her niece this time, and took a different take on it, and it came off as Emma Roberts' character going to kill Sydney Prescott. She was going to be the main girl and play it off, and you really thought that because she shot and stabbed Sydney, and she's down for the count, and then
not quite.
Sydney pulls through, and you just don't fuck with the original. We talk about these, we've kind of talked about it a little bit. Scream's weakest point is 3.
Nightmare on Elm Street's weakest point is 5 and 6.
If we just had to pick one, I'm going 6.
Oh, 6, yeah, hands down.
Yeah, but 5 and 6 are pretty bad. 2 takes a dip, honestly, from 1, but it's still not awful. It's not. Which one kept it fresh? The best plots, the sequels. Do you know your answer?
I know my answer.
I know mine as well. You ready?
On 3?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Scream.
That had to be a given. I mean, Scream, besides 3, is a fucking strong franchise.
It really
fucking
is.
Strong franchise.
And it's so freaking meta. It's crazy, honestly. If I'm guessing as to who the killer is, I'm into the story.
So, Scream takes the first point.
All right, so now we're going into the box office round. Let's see. Go with Nightmare on Elm Street.
So, Nightmare on Elm Street, the lowest in the franchise was the 7th, which is so disappointing, man. 6 was really bad, but I feel wholeheartedly that 7 was a redemption film for the franchise. It wasn't enough to carry it on for another couple of films, but it's in a perfect place to ultimately kind of end the series if they had to. But nonetheless, it only brought in $19.8 million.
Which is because of 6.
Now, the highest, of course, is the crossover film Freddy vs. Jason at $116.6 million.
Which it should be a given because it's a crossover between 2 iconic horror film characters.
But besides that, it would have been the original at $57 million. So you average all that out, your total gross is $302.8 million.
Which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to the Scream ones. The lowest one is 4 at $97.1 million. And I feel like it's just because of how long it was, the wait. The people were like, I don't know if I should go watch it because 1, 3 wasn't that good. But it's been a minute. Can they keep it up? The highest is the first one. Not a shocker to me. 173 mil. This is pretty good for a first film in the franchise. You average it all out, it comes out to $485.8 million. Which gives it just the slightest bump over Nightmare on Elm Street. It's a lot closer than some of these have been.
Yeah.
There's been some that's been $1 billion to fucking $2 million. Or like 20 million.
That's 2-0. So Nightmare has to pull something out here.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going to go into the audience scores, the critical response. What do the critics think about it? What do we as the fans think about it?
So Nightmare on Elm Street, you have the lowest being 5, The Dream Child, which is very fucking surprising. I don't see how the fuck they preferred that over 6. But it was 4.2 out of 10, which is just slightly below average. The highest being the first film at 7.73 out of 10.
Which is pretty good.
You average all that out in the franchise, you get 5.6 out of 10, which is just above average.
Which, again, is higher than a lot of them we've done so far. And then you go to Scream. The lowest one you got is 3, but they still gave it a 5.2 out of 10. So it's slightly above average. And then the best one is 1 at 7.05 out of 10. I think it should be a little higher, but, you know what I mean, everyone's their own critic. It's fine. You average everything out, it comes out to 6.23 out of 10. Which, again, just like a 0.6 higher than Nightmare on Elm Street.
Which means Nightmare on Elm Street has to come with the audience score. Oh, this is about to be a sweep. Freddy Krueger. Let's see what you got. The lowest being the worst film. Part 6, Freddy's Dead. At 20%.
Oh, no!
But the highest being the first. A fucking whopping 94%.
Which is really high.
We
Especially
don't
for
see
horror
that
film.
many A's in this motherfucker so far.
I think we've seen 5.
It's almost a rarity.
Like, I know Evil Dead was 1.
Fucking Exorcist.
Psycho, Exorcist, and I think maybe one other one, but I'm not sure.
But you average all that out, you get a 54.88% total.
Which isn't bad for real, not really.
It's above 50.
So then you get to the audience score for Scream. The lowest one is, not surprisingly, the third film. It's 39%, which is still higher than I thought they would give it. And then the highest one, shockingly, is the second film. You got 82%. I don't particularly agree with it, but you average it all out, and it comes out to 65%, which unfortunately means
Freddy Krueger, you're out.
Scream has swept Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm sorry, Scholar, because I know you're a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan. I still think we should talk a little about a few of the kills from each of them.
We should, because we didn't want this one to be a sweep.
No.
So we're going to continue on.
We're going to talk a little bit about kills, and then we'll do a little bit about fearfulness too. Like I said, I'm not going to do a bunch of the... I'll do some of the Nightmare on Elm Street kills. I'm going to save some of the Scream kills just because it's going to go against something in the next round. We can talk about it more if it gets that far. Yeah. Hopefully it does. Classic kill in the first one where Johnny Depp gets sucked into the bed.
That fucking Tina's death. She gets fucking slashed and dragged across the motherfucking ceiling.
You got the second one where Freddy just goes dumb crazy at that pool party. Like, just insane.
Bro, like...
running through people.
I think that's the only time... That is the only time in the entire franchise Freddy goes ham, bro.
No, he just, like...
No
legit.
fucks given. He takes out almost every fucking body.
Then you get the third one where he does that little puppeteer death. And then, of course, the prime time.
Bitch.
Welcome to prime time, bitch. That's...
Head through the city.
And then they shocked us with Nancy's death because I didn't think Nancy was going to die on that shit.
And that still hurts to watch, bro.
It really does because, like, she was the final girl, bro.
At least they didn't fucking kill her off in the first 15 minutes.
That's great. They stayed her to the end. That saved that for me, for real. The Roach Motel kill was creative.
Yeah.
That was kind of dope. I fucked with that. The comic book one was kind of cool. Freddy vs. Jason, there was literally one.
Yeah, oh, Jason pulling that weight, bro.
He pulled that way. No joke. Like, Jason carried that fucking film in kill-wise. Like, it's more centered around Freddy. Like, Freddy trying to come back.
But he ain't do shit for real.
He really didn't. So,
It's so disappointing for Robert Englund, man.
And then, like I said, we're gonna say the Scream kills because, like I said, I hope we're gonna get to it. If we just don't, we'll talk about it when we get there. For now, and if we talk about fearfulness, I mean, honestly, it'd be a hands down win for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Word.
Like, not even close. Like, again, like
a killer's a killer, bro.
A killer's a killer. Like, if like the reveal would fuck with me. Like, if I found out Ray was the dude in the Ghostface mask, it would get to me. Like, oh shit. But like,
foreshadowing.
Yeah. Fuck you. But you can't fuck with a motherfucker who will literally kill you in your dreams.
Nope, 'cause you have to sleep.
You have to.
Yep,
watch any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies and watch how depraved people got trying to stay awake. So they would like that. Honestly, would probably be the most fearful one, like out of all of them. Besides maybe Resident Evil, and in that one I could probably flip a coin because most of them are like it's just a dude like a killer, and even in some of the situations like where like Jason's kind of basically like a fucking mutant, like not a mutant, like a fucking zombie creature that like is indestructible in some situations. Even in that sense, if I just leave the fucking area for the most part,
If you escape, you're good.
I'm good.
You can't escape Freddy.
You can't.
Unless you pull a Nancy and bring him to the fucking real world and all
Yeah,
that.
there's a lot of shit you have to do, but
That's
like
a lot tougher to do.
Like in that dream state, bro, he is. If you're scared, he's running through you.
That and he'll maniacally fuck with you first.
He will.
You know?
He ain't even got to kill you at the beginning. Like he might. If you ain't one of the main characters, you're gonna die quick.
Fucking Nancy in the fall thing.
Exactly.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
But so all in all, Scream takes this in the sweep. It will take on Child's Play, which I feel like will be a decent matchup, honestly. Moving into the Sweet 16. Let us know what you think. Tell us why we're wrong, because you think Nightmare on Elm Street should have won. I mean, we can't control box office and audience scores, guys.
No. And like we can't discredit that because they did that for themselves.
Exactly.
They carried that. I mean, yeah, some had more budgets, but I mean they couldn't help that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You gotta give credit where credit's due, man.
Exactly. So, but listen, let us know why we're wrong. However you want to do that. Let us know what you think of the bracket so far. If you've been keeping up with them, let us know. And until next time, y'all. Deuces.
Adios.
Forgot the first rule of remakes, Jill. Don't fuck with the original.
On the couch like damn, what a slam. The thing is back to you, grouches. My crew just might roll on you like